It's what these guys are doing. These guys have been through a lot the last few days. Really came with a much better competitive spirit, for 53 minutes. And it's hard to win in this league, and it's even harder to win on the road. We had to finally get some stops there at the end. Great tip out. It was unfortunate the way regulation ended up, with an opportunity up forward just to be able to finish it off with one or two stops. We weren't able to do it, but things happen in this league, and you have to show some resilience, some grit, and our guys really showed that.
What did you see on that full play where Goran gets the ball to Jay Rich for the three? Jay Rich said he didn't even see how Goran could have seen him, as he got down underneath the basket.
I'm glad I didn't do what I was about to do. It's very similar to Toronto last year. I was at half court, and I was just my hands were like this. I was about to call that timeout, but Goran dribbled through and made one heck of a pass to Jay Rich, and those moments when you have nothing else to do but shoot. Jay Rich just stepped up with a ton of confidence and knocked in a big one.
And a defensive field goal percentage against that's close to 40%. I assume that's a little more Miami Heat way-ish.
Yeah, it was, and it doesn't guarantee anything, obviously, but you could feel the guys' competitive will tonight. But I don't know what it would have looked like if we could have shaved some of those offensive rebounds down. Drummond was tremendous on the glass. Every time we had a stop or had bodies in front of the ball with great contests, he just has an incredible knack. His second and third efforts, and for a guy his size, the touch that he has to tip the ball in is pretty remarkable.
Josh is starting to reach a point now where you don't think he's having a good game, and then all of a sudden you notice he's having a really good game. Does that speak to his growth about sticking with it and pushing through, and all of a sudden at the end he's the guy?
Which I didn't feel that way. I felt like that he was really putting his fingerprints on this game, and it's about doing it on both ends. Mm-hmm. And he was exerting a great deal of energy. He actually asked to come out of the game in the first half, which he normally doesn't, and that's what it might require. It might require guarding the best wings every single night as hard as you can, carrying a bigger offensive load, and doing that for big minutes, the most minutes of anybody on the team. And welcome to this league and more responsibility. He's capable of it. I love the way he stepped up. He got stronger as the game went on, and there's more context and pressure to it. But that's the type of potential he has.
Speaking of that and getting exhausted, at one point in the third quarter, I think Bam was waving to you, "Get me out of here, I'm exhausted." Yet even with what Griffin and Drummond did, the way he kept coming back with those hustle plays, keeping balls alive, nonstop replays and jump balls, things like that. What about his just staying in the fight, I guess, as you would say?
Yeah, he was terrific, and there's honor to that. There really is of not playing and pacing or preserving to stay out on the court, and being concerned if you ask to come out that you might not come back in when you want to. But we had more guys giving into that, and that's what good teams do. But Bam was great with his energy, his athleticism. You felt his athleticism. And for players like that, the motor has to be high all the time for you to feel that athleticism.
Come back after the injury and just push it the way he did with sort of his relentlessness. What does that say about him on a night he could have taken off to do what he did instead?
That's why Goran is an all-star. You can bank on what he does no matter how many games he's been out, what he's been doing, what happened the game before. He's one of the most reliable, consistent players in this league. It's why he's an all-star. It's why we like him so much. Consistency is a talent. It's a talent in this league. Few have it. He does, and it was good to have him back.
Dwayne dunked 3 times. What are you putting in the water?
Dwayne has found that I love seeing this version of Dwayne over the years and how he's evolved, and how much work he puts in behind the scenes that nobody sees. The Fountain of Youth is a bunch of work, a bunch of sweat, a bunch of pushing your body to exhaustion when no one's watching, just to keep that edge. He had a big-time workout today, yoga and working out before our shoot-around, and our shoot-arounds aren't the easiest. But he's found the Fountain of Youth, and he'll continue to get younger because because of that work ethic.
And then Justice's Swiss Army knife starts basically as de facto point guard on Saturday. Today starts as power forward. Just the versatility of sort of plug-and-play Justice. What does that do for you?
That's when he's at his best, actually. I think when he has more responsibilities and more things that inspire him. It was a big challenge today. The hardest thing, or the biggest challenge we thought going into it, would be able to defend without fouling. Griffin has a very good knack for drawing fouls, but Justice was able to bring a great physicality to this game and play his full allotment of minutes. That's unique. You have to do things with great technique.
With the Pistons' backcourt struggling like they have been offensively this year, do you prepare any differently for them? I mean, is it just now shutting down Griffin and Drummond until you see more?
No, it's not. As you saw going down the stretch, their guards were making big-time plays.
When you have a situation like at the end of regulation, there's another one late in overtime where the other team has the ball and you know they can crash the offensive glass without worrying about getting back on defense. How much can you adjust defensively to handle that?
Yeah, it's tough because you don't want to give up an easy two. They're putting us in situations where it was a little bit of a 2-on-1, and Drummond on a couple of those was just going over the top. That's the kind of talent he is, and he has great instincts for it.